Well, hey, everybody. Y'all, this is awesome. It's your girl, and it is Women's History Month. We are making history for the whole month. And you know, this first 21 days is going to be amazing. So I don't care when you're watching. I don't care if it's March 1st through the 21st. After that, you're going to be seeing some amazing women talking about their business, talking about how they're partnering with God to do what they do. They are just, I mean, when I tell you these some high achieving Christian female entrepreneurs, they will be dropping nuggets and all kind of gems for us during this whole month of Women's History Month, making history like never before. So I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to stay here because I know you didn't come. You probably did log in to see me, but but we got our guest that is already here with us, y'all. She coming from a long ways, y'all. I'm gonna just wait a minute. I'm gonna just hold it, and I'm gonna let her tell you where she's chiming in with us for this Women's History Month, and I'm gonna bring her on in. Hey, how are you, Jen? How's it going?
Thanks, Deborah. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us. Y'all, this was interesting to coordinate this interview because of the time difference. So it's been it's been really good. It's been really good. So let's just jump right in because tell the people who you are and what you do and who you serve.
Okay, great. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. So my name is Jennifer Chamberlin. I live near Paris in France. So that's the reason for the big time difference with the US. So it's currently 20 to 12 my time, but I know it's super early for Deborah. I have been living here for 22 years. You can hear my British accent. So yes, I'm British born and raised over there. And then I came here in 1999. And I launched my business nearly 7 years ago as a virtual assistant after working as a personal assistant and then an executive assistant. So now I spend my time serving multilingual entrepreneurs with a variety of business support services that I and my team work on.
That's awesome. And when you say multilingual, how many different languages or different countries or nations do you actually work with? And how challenging is that?
So I myself work in French and English. I do a little bit in German as well because that's my third language. But I have team members who can work in Spanish and Italian. We've also done a project in Thai, which was amazing. It was proofreading. So that was quite fun to receive the documents back because I had no clue whether they were right or not. So I just had to send them on in faith that they would be okay. And yeah, so those are the languages. And we've been lucky enough to work with clients not only here in Europe, but also in North America, Asia, Africa, and even Australia, which counts as a separate continent.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And, and I think because, so many people, it's just so interesting to hear how we are all working internationally now. And with this great age of the internet, I'm trying to tell you what this new thing. It's definitely been aiding us to be able to branch out. So we were talking about that time difference and we're talking about language barriers. How challenging is that, especially being a virtual assistant and making sure that you're getting those products out for your clients soon enough, or, being able to do these different things. Oh, wait a minute. Not only language, but cultural barriers, because I know that's been a challenge for me, because trying to deal with different culture barriers, you're like, wait a minute now, we don't do that over here. So how does that work for you, especially dealing with all these different countries and languages?
Yeah, absolutely. So time differences to begin with is a really interesting one, because it can be an advantage as much as it can be a disadvantage. And, sometimes it's great. So, for example, with the UK, there's only an hour difference, and so I start my day an hour earlier. So that can be a real positive because I can get going before they start, and if I have to deliver something, then I've gained an hour, which is great. With the US, again, it's the same thing. I can be working, before they get up, before they start their day. So again, it's getting those things ahead. But then it can also be challenging if you're trying to liaise with a client and have those conference calls and meetings with them. They want to do them later on in their day, and that's just much too late for me. And that's when I'm having family time, and it's at the end of my day, so it's a lot harder. So it can really work both ways. And I think the biggest learning that I've had is, it's okay to say when something isn't okay, and it's okay to say, look, this isn't working, and it's not a reflection on you as a client, it's not a reflection on me as a service provider, it's just that we're not a match for each other. And I think once you can get to the stage in business where you can let things go, and then trust that the right things, and then be really discerning about what you do bring into your business, and what you do say yes to.
Okay, you just said something really key. And especially for new entrepreneurs, or even for some that they're not new, but they've been doing it for a while and still trying to find their bearings. You just said something that was really clear: boundaries. How important is it for, as entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs? Because I feel like for us, there's still certain expectations of us that we just can't break. But how important is it to have boundaries in your business, especially dealing with clients and dealing with family time, dealing with personal time, dealing with that, that me time? How important are boundaries, and what do you do to set them? What do you do to make sure that you get your boundaries, that you put them in place, and you implement them, and you make people respect them?
It's a really difficult one. It's a real challenge, because when you onboard when you start working with a new client, you have a tendency of wanting to say yes to them. And so, if they ask you to do a call later on in the day where normally you would say no, if you say yes, then and I've seen this with clients, you open the door to then having to repeat. So it's actually better to stand your ground from the beginning and say, look, I'm sorry, that time doesn't work for me. And then trying to find another something that does. But sometimes we have to make concessions, and it really depends on, the client and how much you really want to work with them. So I think start as you mean to go on would probably be my advice, but then be flexible if you need to be.
Oh, awesome. I mean, and absolutely as well, because it's like, I know my virtual assistant is in Kenya. So that's why I know how to get up early and do some things, because we both make some sacrifices, because she's called me like it might be 5 o'clock our time, but midnight theirs. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing up? But that's the way she makes sure, because she's training herself to be on US time. But it's also going to be a challenge when it does come down to family time. And what services, and that leads me right to where I was going next. What services do you offer as a virtual assistant? Are you social media? Are you forms? What services do you actually offer as a virtual assistant?
So the niche really is working for these multilingual entrepreneurs, the people who work in, multiple languages. So maybe they coach clients in different languages, or they do social media. So the services we offer really encompass that. They also encompass the experience that I've had in my previous positions. So it's anything from, general executive admin assistance. So that can be email management, calendar, travel, expenses. It can be social media admin, so preparing content, preparing graphics and posting for people. We also do some HR work, particularly in France, because we know the rules here in France and they're quite hefty. And then we do things like translation, proofreading, transcription, adding subtitles to videos. and then also project and event management. So, for example, next month I'm going back down to Cannes, which I'm really excited about, for a big property investment fair there, and I'm organising a cocktail reception for a client.
Oh, that's awesome. Woo woo. Come on, cocktail event. I love it. I love it. So really and truly, you work not only as a virtual assistant, but almost like an executive assistant for an event planner. So it's like you're multifaceted as well. And you get some pretty cool gigs. Getting to go to Cannes. Not everybody can say they can do that. I don't care if you all going to organize the event. Guess what? You're there. So
No,
how
absolutely.
cool is it to be able to go to these different events that most of us be like, I want to go.
Well, it's not yet the film festival. Not there yet, but
It,
it's
look, it don't matter. It's just the
amazing.
point that you look. It's just the point that you can say, I was there. Look, we wouldn't know if it was a film festival or not. All you gotta do is say can, and we're like, ooh.
No, it was great. And it was really special for me last year when I did it for the first time, because I used to work for a lawyer in mergers and acquisitions. And so I saw him attending these events years and years ago, and never would have thought that I would get to go, or I would, have any part to play actually on site. So to get to go last year was really fun.
Oh, that is so awesome and so amazing. So, what other cool things have you done being able to be in the mix of things and working with all these different types of clients?
Just the variety is amazing. So, I can work with coaches, consultants, small businesses, and even sometimes larger businesses who don't have the skills and the expertise that we offer. They come to us. So I've been part of a series of workshops in Paris, where I was taking the minutes and keeping track and following actions and decisions. So that was a really fun opportunity as well.
Oh, that sounds great. So see now, to what y'all don't know, Jen don't know. I'm the type to be. I'm gonna be the one to show up in town. Talk about, girl, I'm here now. What we doing? Where you at? Where you at, girl? Because I'm so excited because we had a layover in Paris last summer, and I was like, dang, I wish I had somebody to call, because we were trying to figure out if we really could leave the airport and go see something and still make it back. At least be able to do something to say we went to Paris and got out the airport. And I was like, she don't know. She in my phone now. It's getting ready to be fun. She gonna be like, Deborah, you not serious? Yeah, I'm serious. I'm here.
Absolutely. It's really funny, actually. My daughter is going to be traveling to South Korea this summer. And so she's going to have she's going via Dubai, but unfortunately the timing is just so tight that they're not going to be able to leave the airport, which is kind of a real shame. But
yes, it's like, oh my God, it's like I'm here and I can't leave, because especially with the way travel is and having to go through security, and it's like, okay, so I think we had like maybe a 4 or 5 hour delay, and so it was like, okay, this is 4 hours. I could do a lot in 4 hours, but then we like, now how far are we from seeing anything, and then having to get back and going through security? It was like, oh, so we would just sit there like this.
I think to be able to really do anything comfortably, you sort of need 8 to 12 hours, because otherwise it's just too rushed. And the other thing is you don't actually enjoy it because you're so stressed about trying to get back for the airport and not miss your flight.
Exactly.
So I would build in 8 to 12 hours, and then you've got a bit more leeway.
Awesome. That does it. So now I got my instructions. I will be following them. My travel agent is probably gonna be hollering when she sees this, because she's gonna be like, oh Lord.
She'll probably say, Here's this girl, what's she told you?
Yeah, right. Why she tell you that? Because she done told the wrong one, because you're gonna be like, look, man, I need to schedule this. I'm like, yep, you right. Oh my God, it has been so much fun talking to you, but we got one more question for you, and I want you to we got one more question, and then I want you to share with everybody how they can get in contact with you, and what services that you offer, because that is so awesome. And and then as you're talking about it, how do you partner with God in your business? How does your faith contribute to your business? Let's start that with that one first, and then I'll come back to the last one. How does your faith contribute to your business?
It really is the foundation of it all. I think being able to believe in something bigger than myself, being able to know that he's there and he won't let me down, and I'm building it for him. We see such a great example of, servant leadership, and that's what I want to follow. That's why, a lot, there's sometimes serving other people gets bad press, but I'm actually really happy to do that. I think, working for other people and supporting them to be their very best themselves there's something really, really spiritual about it. So it's super important, and it keeps me on track even in the most difficult moments.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know someone needed to hear that, because a lot of times when people are in that service industry, they really like, I just do this. And I said, look, you got a skill set that some of us do not have. And that's something I don't have. And so it's like, it's a blessing for all of us to be able to operate in our own gifts, regardless of what they may be. And it's always so amazing to see that. So this is my favorite question that I get to ask everybody. When you hear Church Girl CEO, what does that mean to you?
It means so much. It's so important to know that there are other people out there doing the same thing as you, and building a business on a solid foundation of being a Christian. Being an entrepreneur can be a really lonely journey sometimes, and especially with social media, there are so many influences out there. There's so much out there that it's really easy to go down rabbit holes of other things that aren't necessarily helpful. And I think so just having something like Church Girl CEO, where you can just bring it back to that foundation and talk with other like-minded people, is just absolutely vital. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now tell the people how they can contact you if they are interested in working with you, your websites, social media, and those things.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is mybilingualva.com. So mybilingualva.com. Phone me there. I'm on social media as well. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram. So it's My Bilingual VA or Jennifer Chamberlin, and it's Berlin as in the German city, not Berlin, like the UK Prime Minister.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, y'all know how we do it. It's been fun. It's been real. I love you to life, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a great one. Hope you're enjoying the series.
Have a great